Hi, I'm Amos Elroy, host of the Progressive Update. Just wanted to give you a quick report of a recent protest I've participated in and we've mounted in the compressor station at Roseland, New Jersey. This facility is attempting to upgrade to more than double its production of natural gas throughput, and we've assembled there to try and block this development. This is going to lock New Jersey, along with 11 other fossil fuel related projects, into using fossil fuel for the next few decades, when we fully well know the effects of fossil fuels on the environment and on global climate crisis. The company, of course, denies that it has any negative impact on the environment, which is, of course, false. There's this false understanding that's being pushed that natural gas is a benign form of uh, energy production, and this is false, not only because we're fracking and we're damaging the environment by putting various unknown chemicals into the ground, which are likely to come out at some point. We're causing quakes and destabilization by doing so, but also because of the end product, which is the methane gas. Methane gas, if released into the atmosphere, is actually 84 times worse than carbon dioxide uh, in terms of the greenhouse effect. It warms up much more than carbon than CO2, and so it's much more potent. It dissipates faster, but it's much more damaging. So when a blowout occurs, and that happened recently in other facilities across the US, with massive amounts of release of methane into the air. In some cases, when we're talking about wells, it also releases whatever chemicals are put into the wells to extract those gases, which are toxins. They get spewed all over the place and cause environmental damage and harm to the local populations and the local environment. We have to look at the whole cycle, not just the cycle at the um power station end of it. Of course, the power station end of it is also of concern. And if a compressor station, for example, burst into flame, explodes, there's a massive release there as well, and that is very harmful. So it's not benign by any means, and just continuing in that path of energy, when we have fully developed and uh, increasingly cheap forms of green energy production, is just a crime against humanity and nature in a lot of our opinions. We've assembled at that facility to try and affect the policymakers to block this from happening and change the production means to green uh, means of energy production, solar, wind, and so forth, geothermal. Um, and hopefully they will consider doing so. Uh, One lesson we've learned as a group from this protest was that the police will employ some tactics that we should be aware of as activists. Now, we don't have anything against the police, and we understand that their job is unfortunately to remove us. Some of them appear to be sympathetic to our cause, and we've had some conversations with the officers on the ground. But when it comes down to that, their role is on the opposite side of the fence. They're supposed to remove us, and they would get into trouble, frankly, if they did not. And we're supposed to resist, because that's the only means we can affect change. We're not the massive investors that are powerfully pushing these projects. The only thing we can do is protect this from happening by our bodies. So the police in this case, what they did is they approached the people that were blocking the entrance at the gate, and they indicated that they were now under arrest and started corralling them out of the facility. One of the members resisted moving. He was handcuffed. And when everybody was out, they closed the gate and they said, well, we're only arresting this individual. We're not going to arrest any of you. So this was basically a tactic to get everybody to move out with as little resistance as possible. Now, if your intent is to resist arrest and cause an act of civil disobedience, then obviously that you should be aware of that tactic. And I would say the only measure to take when you're being told that you're arrested is just sit down and be a dead weight and let them remove you if they so will. But otherwise it's problematic, because you just remove yourself from the cause, and you make it easy for the police, you make it smooth for the police. But of course, like I said, that's not our role in it. Unfortunately, we have to be on the other side of that as activists that protest our moral grounds. So this is what I wanted to share. I wanted to share another couple of clips of blowout that occurred a couple of years ago in Wyoming, and another one that happened in the West Coast. And those are massive, massive damages to the environment. One should not consider natural gas benign by any means. All right, I'll talk to you soon. And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, you can do so through any podcast app. If you want to subscribe to our channel, just click on the Progressive Update channel subscription button along with the little bell next to it, which will allow you to receive updates when we post new material. All right, bye-bye.